The Buccaneers seem fixed. And Mike, early in the game yesterday, it felt like this was going to be another case of the 2021 Buccaneers go on the road and they're a different team than they are at home. And they were struggling, and it took a while to get going, and they were behind. And, it felt like the Colts were really going to steal one and establish themselves as a true shortlist contender in the AFC. And they kind of already, not shortlist contender, but they had showed they're a team that needs to be taken seriously because they've got the formula to play outdoors in the postseason. Surprising, ultimately, to see the Buccaneers do what they did, but not surprising because this is what we expect from them, home or away, week in and week out.
Can I ask, though, what the hell the Colts were doing? Last I checked, isn't Jonathan Taylor running the ball really well? How in a game where you have the lead at halftime, so this is never one of those games where you were throwing to get back in it until you needed to later in the game. How does he have 8 carries only in the first half, 16 carries total in this game, and you throw the ball, 44 times? How does that happen in a game that you don't have to throw yourself back into? This guy is the leading rusher in the league. We just talked about he's an MVP candidate, and he carries it 16 times in a game where the game plan can still call for that. Listen, I know Tampa Bay is great against the run, but you have a great offensive line and a running back. Man, challenge that. 16 runs? I was stunned at that. Stunned. But, and listen, they still, because of a big kickoff return, they had a chance at the end of the game. But you had to see this one coming, too. They score a touchdown and tie it up at 31. There's 3:29, I think, left on the clock, and Tom Brady's getting the ball. That's somewhat laughable, that you're going to have to come back because Tom Brady's going to take that team down and score.
And, even though the Buccaneers have the reputation, well-earned, of having a great run defense, they're not facing Jonathan Taylor every week. Maybe if you had a bunch of Jonathan Taylors on your schedule, your run defense wouldn't be so great. And I agree with you. Why not? When you've got the guy who's the hottest and most accomplished running back in the NFL who's healthy right now in Jonathan Taylor, why not test them? This is one of those situations where I think a team kind of outsmarts itself. Well, we can't run it against them. Well, why not? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So I agree with you. Bruce Arians doesn't, though. Here's Bruce Arians after the game addressing why teams would be wise to not test the Tampa Bay run defense.
Nobody runs the ball in us. I don't care who the hell you are. I mean, you're going to end up throwing it because if you're going to run it all day, you're not going to get much. And they did that last drive. We were a little bit playing pass defense, and they ran it on us. But I'll take our run defense versus anybody's run offense anytime.
But yeah, you've got to test it. I agree with you, Mike. And at halftime, you've got the lead. I mean, why haven't you run it more? Why don't you run it more? And sometimes I think teams can outsmart themselves.
Listen, I expect Bruce Arians to say that. I mean, that you can't run us. Why would he say anything different? But why wouldn't Frank Reich get up there and say, we think we can run the ball on anybody? I mean, he should have had 25 carries in this game. I don't understand that at all. And you know what? Yeah, not all. That's what happens when you have one of the best against one of the best from a run standpoint and a run defense standpoint. You're not going to get a lot of yards sometimes, but you keep going, you keep going, and you keep going, and you never know when a guy like that's going to break one or he's going to increase his yards per carry. You just don't know. You sure as hell aren't going to know when you only give him the ball 16 times because you're not giving him a chance to do it. So I was really, really surprised at that move.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.